Kusangpo and a very warm welcome to our weekly news magazine program, Bhutan This Week, and I'm Sharab Zangmo. Our top stories for the week. His Majesty King promotes Major General Batu Sering to the rank of Lieutenant General. The Supreme Court, which is under construction, gets Serto. And Prime Minister Sring Topke met the President of Myanmar, the Prime Minister of India, the Leader of Opposition of Myanmar, Aung San Suu Kyi, and other leaders at the BIMSTEC meeting in Myanmar. His Majesty the King promotes Major General Batu Sering to the rank of Lieutenant General on Wednesday. His Majesty the King also appointed the General Secretary of Bhutan-India Friendship Association of Phinseling Chapter, Tile Doji, as the member of Royal Privy Council and Major Sonamongdi as the personal secretary to His Majesty the King.
His Majesty the King granted Dao to Lieutenant General Batu Sering this morning in the Golden Throne Room of the Tashichozong. Lieutenant General Batu Sering was commissioned into the Royal Bhutan Army in 1971. He became the Chief Operations Officer of the Royal Bhutan Army in 2005. Lieutenant General Batu Sering is the recipient of Duk Yugel, Dokpi Wongel, Dokpi Thukse, Dokpi Kholo, and Dokpi Rinchen Tsukto medals during his years of service to the nation. His Majesty the King also granted Kapne and Pata to Tile Doji, appointing him as a member of the Royal Privy Council. Tile Doji has been serving as the General Secretary of the Bhutan-India Friendship Association of Phinseling Chapter. He was nominated as a member of the Royal Privy Council by the National Council in accordance with the Constitution, and His Majesty the King appointed Major Sonamongdi as the personal secretary to His Majesty the King. Tishinongmo, BBS News.
After getting delayed for nearly 4 years, Supreme Court gets a Serto. The Serto was installed on Wednesday, but it doesn't mean the construction is complete. Sources said it will take another 1 year to fully complete the entire project.
Their Majesties the Queen Mothers and the President of the Bhutan National Legal Institute, Her Royal Highness Princess Sonam Dechin Wangchu, graced the ceremony. And also present was the Indian Ambassador to Bhutan, V.P. Haran. As part of the ceremony, Their Majesties, the Queen Mothers and the Her Royal Highness unveiled the Nga Chudruk Kilkor of Shabdung Rinpoche and Sertok. The purification ritual and recitation was presided by the Tsula Libe. Initially, the Supreme Court construction was expected to be complete by 2010, but was delayed due to dispute over its location, awarding of contracts, and complications in tendering process, among many others. The Chief Justice said this has not only delayed the project but also escalated the cost of construction. Though the foundation stone was laid in October 2005, the construction began only towards the end of 2009. The Chief Justice, however, thanked the Indian government for their unprecedented support despite those challenges.
Indian government was the only agency that was most favorable to the Supreme Court of Bhutan. They never gave us trouble. They gave a lot of understanding, and triumph of the institution is primarily due to the cooperation and kindness and generosity of India, and Indo-Bhutan friendship would be transformed into an architectural magnificence, the one which we have today.
Of the 700 million yultrum funded by the Government of India, so far over 635 million yultrum was spent on the construction. Pematsuki for BBS News.
Prime Minister Sring Topke met the President of Myanmar, U Thein Sein, on Wednesday. Luncheon held meetings with the Speaker and Ministers for Health, Commerce, Hotel, Tourism and Transport. During the meetings, they discussed areas of mutual cooperation. They also discussed about further strengthening bilateral relations between Bhutan and Myanmar. While in Myanmar, Prime Minister Sring Topke also met the Indian Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh and the Leader of Opposition of Myanmar, Aung San Suu Kyi. The Prime Minister was in Myanmar for the 3rd Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation BIMSTEC Summit. The summit saw signing of 2 Memorandum of Association and a Memorandum of Understanding. Mahindra's electric car E20 was launched in Thimphu last Friday. It was launched by Prime Minister Sring Topke. It came less than a week after the launch of Nissan Leaf electric car.
The Mahindra E20 is a manifestation of Mahindra's vision of the future of mobility expressed by the 5 C's framework: clean, convenient, connected, clever and cost-effective. The Mahindra E20 can be charged from any 15 ampere power socket, which is actually available in any home. It can be fully charged within 5 hours and can be driven for over 100 kilometers. It takes only 15 minutes to travel 25 kilometers if the quick charging stations are being used. At the launch, Prime Minister Sring Topke said that the launch of Mahindra E20, a zero-emission electric vehicle, marks the future of sustainable and effective transport system in Bhutan.
Our short distances here will ensure that electric vehicles can get us from one point to the other, from Thimphu to Paro and back, from Thimphu to Phuntsling and back, in one single charge. Whereas the rest of the world are still grappling with a psychological block that electric vehicles and batteries cannot be a viable form of transport. In Bhutan, it is viable, and if we have psychological blocks like the rest of the world, we can rest assured that our short distances will allow electric vehicles to work.
Prime Minister said that government is willing to consider totally subsidizing the charge for electric cars from electric vehicle stations. The Mahindra E20 comes with a 6.2-inch touchscreen fitted with GPS navigation system, radio, DVD, Bluetooth and iPod connectivity. The regenerative braking feature in the Mahindra E20 also pumps energy back into the car's batteries and charges them every time you slow down or apply the brakes. It has seating capacity for 4 persons. The car comes with 3 options and the minimum price is close to 700,000 Nultrum. Karmat Sring, BVS News.
The Royal Bhutan Police held its first ever press conference with the media last Friday to present the annual crime statistics for 2012 and 2013. The overall crime in the country is said to have reduced by 6% in 2013.
The crimes are categorized into penal and non-penal offences. Non-penal offences include accidental deaths, absconding and suicide among others. According to the annual report, Thimphu still tops the table with the highest crime rate. Thimphu recorded 1,314 offences last year, while Gaza had only 11 cases.
I am also happy to inform that the crime in Thimphu has dropped tremendously by 40% against the total crime in the rate. In 2009, it was 65% and now it has dropped to 40%. So this is a massive decrease. But Thimphu still stands as the highest crime in 20 Dzongkhasla. And the lowest crime in the Dzongkhas is the Gaza.
Wongdi Forang recorded the highest increase in the crime rate. 2013 saw 86 more crimes compared to 2012. And police said various measures have been taken to tackle the crimes across the country.
In Wongdi, we have already established community police center at Nobding. We are going to establish community police center at Pajathang, another community police center at Lebisa, and we are establishing a new police station in Sewaka between the Punazanchu 1 and Punazanchu 2 on the en route to Suranga.
The Royal Bhutan Police also plans to establish a new police division in Bomtang. Meanwhile, in Tashikang, another police community center will be established in Kanglung, and this, police said, could eventually help reduce crime rate. Pemoishi, BBS News.
A compensation of 48 million Nultrum has been paid to 415 people whose houses, land and crops were affected with the development of Local Area Plan 1 in Kelifu Tromde. Every structure, temporary and permanent, which fall under the local area plan is being demolished.
Everything under the local area plan are dismantled and demolished. The works have been continuing since June last year, but some were given 6 months' time till December to resettle themselves.
We have to demolish the compensated structures, and the deadline was to finish by end of December 2013. But there are some genuine cases that we need to extend till end of this month, February.
However, some of the people are not happy with compensation received for losing their properties.
2 septic tanks, a toilet and a bathroom had to be demolished, and I was given 23,036 nultrum only, which was not enough. I requested trombone for additional amount, saying that it is way too expensive to construct now. I don't know whether I can rebuild new structure with compensated money. I think it will be difficult. Times have changed. I received about 200,000 nultrum as compensation for my betel nut and banana trees, including one room. It is very difficult to find an apartment in Galifu.
According to the Tromde officials, the people were compensated as per the government rule, and they had to demolish their structures to construct the internal road network which has begun. Compiled for Karmongdi, Kinzangishi, PBS News.
New constructions are not allowed within 500-meter range from Bhutan India checkpost in Galifu for security reasons. The settlement in the area consists of small houses, some very old.
Some 140 acres of land in Namkhaling Chowk in Galifu fall within the 500-meter range from the border checkpost. The houses in the area are small and old. People want to build their houses bigger, but new construction of any sort, including houses, are banned within the area.
My house is almost 20 years old. It was built by my father. The family has grown in size, so the house is too small now. It would be good if we are allowed to build bigger houses. A lot of people are looking for a place to live in. We can rent it out and generate income.
During monsoon, we are prone to flood. Flood water inundates our homes. We often have to flee our homes with our children in the middle of night. Flood also damages our farms. At least if this problem could be solved.
They are saying if it is not possible to allow them to build new houses, they should be resettled in a new area.
It's
a waste to leave our land vacant. We should either be allowed to carry out constructions or be provided with a land substitute in the town area.
It is our ancestral land, and it's sad not to have a proper place to call home. All we want is a new and a bigger house. If that is not possible, the government should provide us with substitute land in the town area.
The Galifu Tromde says the bar on the construction in the area that fall within the 500-meter range from the border checkpost is in keeping with a directive from the Ministry of Works and Human Settlement handed down back in 2010.
As per our Galifu structure plan, it is mandatory to keep 500 meters from the Indo-Bhutan checkpost to maintain the security reason in the future. That's why we are not allowing any construction in this area, although there is a pressure from the public. Presently, we allow the maintenance of the building, but we never allow the new constructions for the purpose of the security reasons of the country only.
The Tromde says it is also working on mitigating flood in the area. Compiled for Fuva, Kinzangishi, for BBS News.
A urologist and his team is currently conducting a free medical checkup in Punakha. They began their day with endoscopy from 6 in the morning. They are also conducting surgery. The 2-week-long campaign will end on 15th March.
A long queue of people are seen every day at the Punakha District Hospital. And they are here to meet Dr. Lote Tsering, the urologist.
We can't afford to go to Thimphu, even Wongdipodang is too far for us. And it's expensive to travel once we go away from our hometown.
We heard that Dr. Lode is coming to Punakha. I have been waiting to meet him for a quite long time now. Today we are blessed to have such a doctor in our hometown.
I came with a hope to cure my illness and I'm glad to see the doctor today.
It would be even more difficult for farmers like us to go to Thimphu and get an appointment for checkup and enjoy the benefit of thorough diagnosis. We don't have any place to live in Thimphu, and it is expensive if we have to go to Thimphu.
We can't afford to go to Thimphu for medical examination. It is expensive to travel to Thimphu, and I think I'm really blessed to have medical checkup in our Zongkuk.
And it has saved time and money for the patients. Dr. Lote and his team examined kidney-related diseases, gastritis, appendicitis, and hernia, among others.
I think in Bhutan, we don't have to look towards anybody but His Majesty the King for the motivation, because I heard many times, especially during the national address on our national days, last national day and before that, I could pick up a lot of motivating remarks from His Majesty the King, where he wants all the Bhutanese to be working hard, and he repeatedly mentioned that it's not the issue of whether you are capable or not. It's the issue of how much you are interested and how much you care for the system. So I think with that, I think His Majesty has a lot of trust in us, and he wants all of us to perform more and do more for the country. So maybe that should drive all of us to be working to the best of our capacities.
The team will be visiting other Zongkuks to conduct similar free medical checkups. Compiled for Chonidema, Tanin Finso, BBS News.
Well, that's all we have for you this week. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time at the same time. This is Sherab Zangmo saying goodbye for now.